how many faders and switches and buttons and knobs do I actually need, and what do they do? We will start from very basic that can help us to mental map what faders and knobs are and what do we want. We will go all in about MIDI controllers in this episode of All About Stage Shows. But first, I'm sure we all know, but still a recap. What is a MIDI controller? So, there's a computer and a laptop or a Mac Mini somewhere here, and there's a keyboard and there's a mouse. We can make music and make art with it, but this is not a musical or an artistic tool, and absolutely not performance friendly. Yes, you will have to be a weird dude to play a keyboard like a keyboard. So in 1983, MIDI controllers were born to solve this problem once and for all. This is the same year I was born, so you could call me MIDI man. Since then, musicians play instruments that simulates physical features, converts every touch, stroke, tap to data, and that controls the digital parameters of a software. So it was born scary, but technology made it look nicer as time went by. Also, MIDI now can travel through networks. That means multiple creative people can collaborate together under same network. That's so awesome. So, we will have to understand one thing. Most MIDI controllers are just control interfaces, buttons, faders, knobs. They don't contain any system inside themselves unless they are a little smarter. So, we talk mostly about the physicality of MIDI controllers. That makes MIDI controllers usually way cheaper than hardware consoles because we are spending money on cool lights, comfortable faders, and awesome switches and knobs. In the later part of this video, we are going to get into that and find out what VJs need as MIDI controllers. Before getting in depth, let's understand few basic type of MIDI controllers. The type of signal. Trigger switches. These are trigger switches. When I press them, they send a data in the software inside my computer when it's connected. Now, if I connect this trigger value into a software parameter in my VJ software, this is going to respond. So I can connect my trigger to a clip fire or changing the clips, or this can be strobing as well. Some switches can send a range of data, usually with a velocity controller, such as this one. They are called pads. So if I hit them softer, they are going to send a lower value that is going to give a lower value with my visual if that is programmed like that. But if I hit this hard, this is going to give the full value, and this is showing my full value on the visual because I have connected this value to the opacity fader of this visual. So my visual is in control. There is another type of MIDI controller. They are called knobs. This one specifically is called limited rotary knob. That means they have a limitation with this rotation. So when this is here, it's sending no data. When it's rotated, this is sending some data. This knob is called infinite rotary knob. That means they can send infinite value. So just like knobs let you to tweak like this, there's another kind of controller called faders. So if your controller is tiny like this, you are going to get tiny faders. And if your controller is big like this, you will get an awesome fader. Oh, this one specifically feels good because this one is not actually a MIDI controller. I'm going to talk about this in the later part of this video. Remember I told you MIDI was made for musicians, so obviously it started with actual keyboard shaped one. VJs can also use that keyboard because it can send a wide range of velocity data which is reacting to your hand's velocity. So you can practically play your visual with your fingers. So there is another type of MIDI control which is based on touch sensitivity. That is so fascinating if you're like performing music and doing visual. Almost all the MIDI controllers nowadays connect using a USB cable. It's usually USB-B or USB-C. Some of the controllers connect wireless, like this one. I mean, when this was alive. More ranting about this in the later part of this video. You might want to stick to that. To summarize, we have following types of MIDI controls in a MIDI controller. Almost all of them are usually combination of such input interfaces. Now that we know about the physical attributes of MIDI, not necessarily all the engines that is creating MIDI signals must be a hardware like this. This can be made or created inside a software. Remember, MIDI is a digital signal. Of course, you can record a MIDI track in a DAW, then play it from there. This will play the exact notes with exact triggers that you were creating that time. What if you don't have any MIDI controller yet? You can just make your MIDI track with your keyboard and mouse. Trust me, I started making my MIDI tracks with keyboard and mouse with Cakewalk Sonar, and I started it very good. The best part with MIDI is you can compose, record the MIDI track and send it to your friend who lives somewhere across the world. And then he can add his instrument and make his composition and blow off your mind. And that is how musicians and producers are collaborating with ease nowadays. And the awesome part of MIDI is being super light data. It travels through network. Yeah! That can take us to a detailed topic, MTC or MIDI timecode. But that is for a video some other day. Write down in the comment below if you want me to make that video. To summarize, MIDI got few variety of controllers and data that can be recorded and be created in a software, then can be played back, and multiple receiver can receive the same data and react to that super fast, synchronized. Who are multiple receivers? Okay, VJ software, laser software, lighting and pyrotechnic, and anyone who can receive MIDI data. But so far, everything we talked about are signals sent from MIDI controller to the computer. But remember, I told you, MIDI is a two-way communication, so it can send back data as well. And why would we need that? MIDI feedback is the data sent by the software from the computer to the MIDI controller. Very often, this is used to light up the switches or buttons. If the buttons support multiple colors, then super awesome. You can use different attributes to different colors. So when this clip is previewing, our MIDI button stays yellow. When this is playing, this turns red. And when this is doing nothing, this is green. And when this clip area is empty, the button is not lit at all. So this kind of buttons lets VJ to keep track of their playlist without looking at the computer much while performing on stage under flashy light and strobes, and stay super focused on the performance only. MIDI feedback is also used in more higher grade controllers to control motorized faders. I didn't have tried this gear myself, but my eyes are there. You will be the first one to know if I get my hands on them. Now let's check out how to connect a MIDI controller to a VJ software. If you are running up-to-date operating system, most MIDI controllers absolutely don't need any kind of driver installation. They would just plug and play. For additional customization, you might have to install driver and software. Some controllers, they are so advanced, they connect to computer using a USB-C to update driver and firmware. Then they connect to a web-based interface where you can go crazy with customization. Some controllers are not MIDI controllers in reality. They are DJ controller which has MIDI support. That means you will have to install a full-fledged software or driver to make this running, and only then this is going to be able to send MIDI signals. I know, little bit hectic, but the result is awesome. When everything is connected and installed properly, then any common VJ software straight away going to recognize your MIDI device. Now that we know everything about MIDI buttons, switches, faders and all cool things, let's also look at the things we must avoid while picking our MIDI controller. Don't go for cheap, no father, no name products. Just don't waste your money. Trust me, good gears are not that far from cheap gears financially. There is nothing called a MIDI controller for learning and then I'm going to buy a better one when I'm professional. Don't fool yourself, this is not possible. Just like a guitarist or a player growing body and muscle memories, life with MIDI is exactly like that. You need to know all your buttons and faders with your eyes closed, with no lights in the venue. That's how this is going to work for you. Therefore, you must not buy anything that does not have any hope or a brand name or a history or legacy. If needed, buy smaller controllers from reputed brands, but still don't buy cheaper ones. Also, don't buy from hopeless companies who just stops, discontinues good products and just disappears. Rather, look for brands who they are in the industry for long and where they're going, where they want to go. Better brands make design layout in a way that the next upgrade gets a tech upgrade, sticking to existing layout, like Akai does it. Wait a minute, I have been giving you all bummer about not buying cheap or replica or copy MIDI controllers. Still, if you had a good experience buying an unknown controller and that survived longer, write down in the comment below. And hi, my name is Zunaid Sabbir Ahmed. I'm from a beautiful country called Bangladesh. And check out this video next where I ran an extensive research to find out what are the MIDI controllers VJs love and why. See you there.